What does the best possible mock draft look like for the Baltimore Ravens? Well, it's time. A-plus mock drafts right here in the Sportsocracy, all 7 rounds, and it's time for the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this, and that's fine.
I don't know. Did you have him taking a guard?
No, I will not catch as much as Tank did for taking Osiris Torrance 22. Although they do take a guard in my mock. It's just
way later.
Later than
just way later. So there's a trade.
What's the biggest problem the Baltimore Ravens have right now? Lamar Jackson. Get out of the Lamar business. That's my A+. This is, I swear to you, this is taking the exact same path that Dak Prescott did with the Dallas Cowboys. Right now, do you think, if I want you to think about Dallas and think about if they had just made an aggressive move instead of paying Dak Prescott, would that team not be in better shape?
Yeah,
there's a good chance of it.
Possibly.
Well, that's what I'm going to do with Baltimore. All right, they've made it very clear. For 2 1s, you can have Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to get the 11th pick from the Tennessee Titans, and I'll get their 2024 first-round pick because I don't think, even with Lamar, that team's any good. So for me, this is one almost top 10 pick and another pick that very well could be. Because if he does that same thing where he doesn't play in December again for Tennessee, they could be 5-12.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they could be 12-5. I don't look for that to be really likely. But I'm going to make that move, and then I'm going to make a corresponding move because the Arizona Cardinals desperately want to trade out of number 3. So I'm going to give them a landing spot. I'm going to give them number 11. I'm going to give them number 22, and I'm going to get up to 3.
And with the 3rd pick in the draft?
Yep, this is where a lot of people are going to go, I hate that guy.
Minds.
Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida.
Oh, well, we're trading in one athletic quarterback for another.
And think about that. All right, so now I get an athletic quarterback with a markedly better arm on a rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts. Do I really need to say more than that? Do you think Jalen Hurts is an elite thrower of the football? No, he's not. This game's changing. The problem is that Lamar Jackson is 4 inches smaller, at least, and Anthony Richardson outweighs him by 40 pounds. He's a bigger version of Lamar Jackson. Your offense is already catered to this. Well, we need receivers. No, you really don't. Because Anthony Richardson is every bit the run threat that Lamar Jackson is, with a bigger arm and inconsistent mechanics. The way that you get around that is by running the ball and simplify the offense down early. You get the arm, the arm recognition, making the throws, get the mechanics right 2-3 years from now. I think he could be a good quarterback in this league. Is this a risk? Absolutely. Is it better than sitting here talking about Lamar Jackson every day for the next 365 days? Yeah, it is. Because I don't see a solution in sight. I don't think he's coming off what he wants, and I don't think you're giving him what he wants. There is a quarterback that fits into this offense right now, and there's a team that is desperate to trade out of that pick. So you're getting 3 for 100% of what it's worth, as opposed to the 130% that the Carolina Panthers gave up to get up to 1 with the Chicago Bears. For me, I don't, and it's not even that I love Anthony Richardson. I don't. I like him in specific spots. The Baltimore Ravens are one of them.
In the 3rd round, 86 overall.
And one of the things you will find with when I do the A+ mock draft is I try to rope in guys that I know definitively you either have an interest in, you've had them in the building for workouts, or whatever the case may be. You took a guard in the 1st round. I'm taking one here. Chandler Zavala, guard out of NC State. I'm not going to – look, we're Carolina affiliates, so we get to see a good amount of NC State football. They haven't really had playmakers in many years. They've had a bunch of hog mollies on that offensive line. This would be the ultimate replacement to Kevin Zeitler. Do I want to take a receiver? Of course I do. There's not going to be one there. There is a huge dead spot in the receiver ranks, and it falls in about right here. Giving up that 2nd-round pick for Roquan Smith, that's just where it goes. Mm-hmm. Corner, you probably should go kiss and make up with Marcus Peters because you're not going to find one that – this draft is deep in terms of having talented players. In terms of guys that can help you right now, there's not a ton of them. Zavala is a guy that they've already had in for a private top 30 workout. He's already a really good pass pro guy. You give me a year with him behind Kevin Zeitler, he could be one of the best players to come out of this class. There's a reason so many teams have talked to him because there is a thought that he was really miscast at NC State. And a year from now, this would give you just an absolute dominating offensive line. It would keep all of that in place. You'll still be able to run the ball. I like Odell Beckham Jr. That's the only time I'm going to mention him in this video, and that's probably the nicest thing I'm going to say. But between him and Bateman, I think you have enough with what you're going to ask Anthony Richardson to do. I have to make sure I can run the ball and make sure I can stop people from running the ball on me.
In the 4th round, they have number 124 overall.
Jair Brown, safety out of Penn State. And before you say, another safety, yeah, you played 3 last year for a reason, because Kyle Hamilton, as just a true 3 down, that's not what you brought him in here to do. He's going to be the move piece. And so you need something. Marcus Williams is the deep guy. I mean, I don't think I'm not being spicy there. Jair Brown, I think, would be a nice complement to him and would allow you to move Kyle Hamilton around to do what it is he does best. The reason Hamilton fell in the draft last year is because nobody could quite put he failed that test that I've always said about high-level prospects. And look, he was my number 1 player in the class last year. Of, if I can't explain what it is that you do in 2 sentences or less, you probably don't do anything all that well. He's one of the few that I've ever looked at and gone, okay, you're the outlier here because you do everything really well. It's just, I'm going to almost have to create a position for you. Jair Brown is a guy that would come in and be your absolute thumper. He's the big, and I say big because he's not frame big. He's just a hell of a hard hitter that you mix that with Marcus Williams over the top. You address something at that other corner spot. I don't know. I would be lying if I said I knew what it was. You don't seem to have a real gumption to go draft one, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing here. I feel like this would give you enough defensively that in probably the most competitive division top to bottom in the NFL, that's 3 guys that are going to come in and contribute really, really early.
In the 5th round, number 157, going corner.
I am going corner, and I'm sure somebody's going to say, well, you didn't do it quick enough. All right, for what it is that you want to do, it's going to be a very specific kind of corner. I fully believe the best case scenario is either you go back to Marcus Peters or you find a veteran that is going to do what it is that you're asking. Because outside of those top 3, there are a lot of guys that are projects. And so you're going from 25 to about right here. It's not that you're getting the same level of project. It's just they're all projects. Mm-hmm. So you could take the guy at 22. That doesn't fix your problem. You're still going to have to do something else. But there are a slew of players that I think fall in between the 3rd round and the 5th round. I don't think you would have had guys there earlier. This is one that actually fits into exactly what it is that they want to do. He's a big kid. He's 6'2", 205, 4'6", I think is what he ran in the 4. It's the only reason he's available here, because he didn't straight line run as fast as you would want him to. Then you get back to the tape, and you realize that at Virginia, he was the best player on the field a lot. He's really physical, really good in the press, might be too aggressive, but he's a bulldog. He's almost, how do I say this nicely? He's almost like the feral cat that you're trying to rein in to be a house cat. Yeah, there's what he does really well, but you're going to have to rein it in. That's to make a
nuts and bolts, yeah.
To make a short story long, you're going to have to really rein him in. But if you do, he could be one of the great values of day 3, and he has gotten a ton of interest from teams around the league.
All right, that's Anthony Johnson, cornerback out of Virginia at number 157. Now the final pick of the draft for the Baltimore Ravens comes at 199.
It's the name I feel like you've probably heard a time or two. Another thing that you will find, I often lean on schools that are close to where a NFL team is, because you got local scouts that have really good information on these guys. Mm-hmm. Many years ago, there was a receiver out of Maryland that I hit on when nobody else did, because he had some injury issues and, the production wasn't there. Go back and watch the damn tape. That guy's name was Stephon Diggs. This guy's name is Dante Demas. I have been screaming from the rooftops how good this kid is for 2 solid years.
2 years, yeah.
2 solid years. 6'3", 212, ran a 4.57. It's a pedestrian number. But then you watch him on film and realize that as an ex-receiver, in this class specifically, there are not a lot of guys that do that. This is the slottiest draft in the history of the NFL. Because probably of the top 20 receivers, 17 of them project to being better in the slot. This guy doesn't. He's hyper-competitive. He's got great hands. And he is really aggressive at going after the ball. If he had run better, I fully believe we would be talking about him the way we're talking about Bryce Ford Wheaton out of West Virginia, as a big guy that just is going to be a bulldog in the NFL. And I think a smart team is going to take him, and 3 or 4 years from now, we're going to go, son of a bitch. How did we miss on it? Because he blew out his ACL? Do you know how many guys in this class have had a knee issue at some point? And now I'm getting this kid in the 6th round?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to go in the 1st for an extended period of time.
He did. Last preseason, you told me he was going to be a sneaky guy for the top round.
He's not a polished route runner right now, and he's had a few problems with drops. If you coach this kid up, I'm telling you right now, he can be one of the best receivers in this draft. And before you tell me I'm a moron, just realize this is the same guy that told you Drake London was going to be the first receiver taken in last year's class, and I screamed Amon-Ra St. Brown's name for 4 solid months?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a pretty good track record with receivers. I love this kid, and I love him with the Baltimore Ravens.
That's your A-plus mock draft from the Sportsocracy.
If you love these picks, if you hate these picks, and I have a funny feeling that some of you will, feel free to comment that in the comments. If there's a player you'd like to know how he fits with the Ravens, you can throw that out there too. We will have one more mock draft, which will be my 7-round projection of how I think the draft will go. That will be coming out next week here on the channel, and we will be live for every pick of the 2023 NFL Draft.
Stick around the channel for more of the team-by-team Draftmas season coverage. Don't forget to like the video, share it out with your friends as well, and subscribe to the channel so you can get all the Draftmas season content and join us live for every pick of the 2023 NFL Draft here in the Sportsocracy. We'll see you then.